Savio, get in here and of course there is going to be a review meeting, what has happened in the last 5 years and how has BJP performed, how has the cadre performed, how have all the ministers and the candidates performed. But at the same time, there will be a review of the policies and the schemes that have been launched, the kind of campaigning that has been done, on the number of planks that the BJP fought. And an example that I give you in Faizabad, where the Ayodhya Ram Mandir was built. And here you see a difference of about 45,506 votes to be precise, which the BJP is trailing. And it is the Samajwadi Party that is winning the seat by this margin. What does this reflect?
Let me explain to you what I believe has happened not only in Ayodhya but also in other parts of the country. The Congress and the opposition, that is the India Alliance, decided to work on a formula that made absolute logical sense. They realized that the number of percentage of people in 2019 that did not vote for the Narendra Modi government was a sizable number. And if those numbers could come together, then there is a probability of putting up a good fight. And in order to do that, they needed to consolidate the minority votes first, which is the large number of Muslim voters and a considerable number of the Christian voters as well in different parts of the country. Therefore, you would have seen in Goa, for example, in South Goa, almost 85% plus the consolidation of minority votes has happened in favor of the Indian candidates. What does that show? It shows that they were bringing people together on the basis of the religious identities that they were talking about being in danger. But what did not happen in favor of the BJP is that the same thought process was not followed by the BJP voter, or in this case, the majority voter, the Hindus. The Hindus have time and again ensured that when they are needed to come together and consolidate, they think largely over non-political interests and non-party interests and decide to vote as where their heart wants them to vote.
Okay, but it makes political sense if India Alliance comes together and if they are playing the caste card, if they are playing and wanting the Muslim minorities to vote for them, whether right or wrong, it has worked for them. I'm
not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's a strategy. I'm saying where it went wrong is that the Hindu consolidation did not happen. And
so where has BJP gone wrong in getting the Hindus consolidated to vote for them?
So that is something that we need to introspect, because what I am failing to understand is that why have the Hindus not consolidated? And it only brings me to one point, that Hindus by nature will vote as per what their heart tells them and not what their religious congregations tell them. That's how Hindus have always voted.
Okay.
And that's why it is an uphill task to have Hindu consolidation,
okay,
no matter how much you mobilize.
Okay, all right. Sumit, you want to make a point?
You see, if you talk of the Hindu vote, traditionally Hindus have voted as per the caste. That is what the traditional model is. Last 10 years, those caste divides were diminished but not eliminated. Now, when you talk of a player like Akhilesh Yadav, what is his traditional formula? He has only one formula which he knows, which he inherited from his father, Yadav Muslim combined. So that is the only formula he knows, and that works for him. So when you get the Muslim vote consolidated, you get one people at least from your caste to vote for you. That put together does the thing. Now, where did BJP get it wrong? BJP possibly got it wrong. I think Prime Minister Modi is the only Prime Minister who has done maximum for the Muslims of this country without any discrimination, without caring for the vote bank. And maybe a lot of BJP leaders know, when you talk to them privately, Muslims will not vote for us. But it was not supposed to be, Meghaji, this time. You will vote for somebody A, B, C, D, where BJP will lose. That is where the calculation went wrong. Secondly, you thought at least the ladies will vote because of the triple talaq and the benefits and all that. They did not vote. Thirdly, what was baffling was that, the after getting 34% of the benefits, what they got in the UP, still people chose not to vote for Narendra Modi and Yogi Adityanath. When you combine all these three factors, that did the magic for Akhilesh. Akhilesh simply tossed a coin. It just fitted in the right place. It was exactly being waited for. And even Bahan Mayawati puts a lot of Muslim candidates, by the way. Nobody voted for that Muslim candidate. How come that Muslim candidate doesn't have any percent of the votes? Because it was tactically chosen by BJP. Kahan haarti, wahan vote do. It's very simple.
Okay, all right. So then coming to you, Himanshu, when the Congress review meeting happened in 2019 and in 2014, and then the report came out and said that because the Congress is not working for the welfare and development of the majority of the country, for the majority population, for the majority religious population in the country, hinting at Hindus, and therefore they have not been able to garner the votes. They have not been able to garner the support. Can the same be applied for the BJP as well?
Yes, the same, exactly similar thing, same thing I was going to tell you.
Correct.
BJP's last time's vote share was about 37%. This time's vote share is about 38 point something.
Kuch bhi nahi bada.
Just 1% increase and spread across the country, where initially with 37% it was concentrated in the northern and western part of the country.
Correct.
When you look at all these things, that means they have spread their votes but got fewer seats. And that is what is exactly happening. And in that, the vote they have lost is about 6 to 7% of the core Hindu vote.
Yes.
Which is not happy with appeasing Muslims.
Absolutely right.
You see, on the other one side, you have an appeasement of Muslims. Similar way, you have an appeasement of Hindus. That is what the two flanks are. That is what the two lines of thinkings are. When you talk of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas. But that Vishwas is very difficult to come in.
Okay.
And that 6%
can I make one point?
The building of the Ram Mandir does not gain you trust and faith and votes of the Hindus across the globe. Are you talking about Article 370? The revocation of it does not help you get Hindu votes. Are you saying
Yes.
that when
Yes.
Jammu and Kashmir Pandits who have now been given a reservation in the seats does not give you Hindu votes?
Can I answer?
Yeah, can I answer you that?
Yes.
Can I answer?
Actually, what happens is, you do all these things. They consider it's an appeasement, revoking 370, making Kashmir an integral part, Kashmiri brothers going back. All these things are fine. But when you have on video, a Muslim woman or a Muslim man comes up and says, "Mujhe sab mila, magar fir bhi main vote nahi dunga."
I want to add one point.
And that, when that happens, that, extremely Januni Hindu, I'll put it that way, an extremely Januni Muslim. That core vote bank.
Are you saying the Hindus? You're talking about the core Hindu.
Yes.
I don't want to use the fanatics. The word fanatics.
Hardcore.
But the point is,
Hardcore Hindu is
are you saying that they were unhappy that the BJP provided welfare schemes and projects and policies that not just favored the Hindus but also the Muslims? This is what you. Is this what you're saying?
Meghaji, I'll explain to where Himanshu Bhai left. You see, on various digital platforms and all, I have been trying to harper one point very strong. You see, there is 6% core Hindu vote bank. Who wants temples to be free of government? Who wanted a uniform civil code? Who wanted such things where the Hindu communities are benefited? While as nothing of that thing percolated in this 10 years and Prime Minister trying to be equal to all, they were not happy with that. I was talking to somebody, he is in UP police, I can name him, very senior officer. He talked to me, Sumit bhai, Hinduo ke liye kya kiya? I mean, he's a very senior officer in UP police. Hinduo ke liye kya kiya? I tried to explain him, ye kiya, wo kya, nahi. So this, something down the line, this is where this 6% of, I've been always warning, if this 6% vote swings, here, right, Himanshu bhai, on various platforms.
Congress has got 25% this time from 18%.
I told them that you will lose 30 seats at least in UP only, 30. How many months I've been talking to Harper this point in digital platforms?
We have been talking
6%
about
if you lose, it will go.
Okay, Rahul, your opinion over here. How do you view the analysis being made by Himanshu and Sumit about if there were policies and schemes that primarily adhered to facilitating, improving the lives of Hindus in the country and sidelining the Muslims and creating this religious polarization, a divide that Congress is also accused of doing, Samajwadi Party is accused of doing. it would have fared better for the BJP?
Yes.
Two submissions. One, we need a strong pro-Hindu government, but pro-Hindu doesn't mean anti-Muslim. We can be strongly pro-Hindu without being anti-Muslim at all. Similarly, we can be strongly pro-Muslim without being anti-Hindu at all. See, the issue is India has two formations. One is broadly the center-right BJP, which is coming together of all castes. And the other thing is a center-left Congress formation, which is basically minority or Muslim votes plus other minority votes plus backward Hindu community plus some forward caste leaders, forward caste Hindu leaders. This is the combination that usually works in India. The unfortunate reality is both spectrum needs villains. For my right wing, we want Muslim as the villain. We want all the love jihad and the other things to be there. For the others, Brahmin, my community is the villain. The Brahmin, Savarna Hindus are the villains, and they are historically people who are exploiting you. I always tell our Muslim brothers, we Brahmins and Muslims should come together and de-villainize ourselves. Rather stop being villain to each other so that people can play us. We can be strongly pro-Hindu and pro-Muslim at the same point of time. People like Mahatma Gandhi used to do that. He was a very hardcore Hindu activist. He at the same point of time, he worked for Hindu-Muslim unity too. That is possible. And Modi ji was trying to do that. And we will be surprised to know back in 2015, there were even reports in Times of India that the ultra-Hindutva right-wingers, wanted to harm Modi ji because Modi ji is trying a Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. Our nation needs a balance, and this balance is where you win. For example, Kerala, Suresh Gopi won the first NDA seat. Suresh Gopi won because a huge number of Christian community brothers voted for Suresh Gopi, understanding that he is a very inclusive, pluralistic person. And Suresh Gopi, even during the campaign trail, went on to say that for the past 20 years, I have been taking a Ramzan November or Ramzan fast for a long period of time, much to the displeasure of some of our right-wing brothers. See, Modi ji was trying that Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas Gandhian kind of a line. And Pujaniya Sarsang Jaya, like Mohan Bhagwat ji used to do it, and Mohan Bhagwat ji rightly said, Gandhi is the cutter Hindu that we have to follow. I am just paraphrasing Mohan Bhagwat ji. So there is a thin line where you can hold people together, be it Hindu, Muslim, and take it forward. Please remember, this is not Nehruvian secularism. See, that Nehruvian secularism is a flawed, failed model where you alienate every religion. Magar Modi ji ka rasta abhi he try kar raha tha, aur Mahatma Gandhi ka rasta is enjoining everyone, coming all the parties together and taking it forward. And that is the line that Modi ji should try. Modi ji should definitely try ahead. But just one submission. The core Hindu, I will never use the word harshliners or hardliners to my own fellow brothers. I believe some of us have misunderstood. See, we want to see some action on Muslims to feel Hindu. That is not right. But issues like temple freedom is very important. I think Modi ji can still work on it. Karnataka government took a step and they then took it back. Karnataka government took a step towards that.
While there are a lot of questions, obviously, on unfulfilled promises right now, next 5 years remaining for Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and you talk about UCC, you talk about temple trust being given privatization, not be under the gambit of the government of India or the state government. But the point over here is that there has been the CA that has now been implemented. The number of proposals that have been sent by the Telangana government or the Andhra Pradesh government to allow for Muslim minority quota to be increased has been completely negated. It has not been given a nod by the BJP government. Ram Mandir, a massive issue that had lasted for so many years, has been built now under Prime Minister Narendra Modi. That manifesto promise has been fulfilled. So, Professor Madhav Nalapat, if we go by the hypothesis that is at this point of time is being created during the discussion, should a party forego national development and welfare of the people for religious polarization, because that is perhaps the only way to win an election?
Frankly, Megha, I don't believe that's the only way to win an election. And I do believe that the Indian people are not going to appreciate that kind of polarization. I think Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas is absolutely the only way that a government should function. And the whole problem was in the past, it was not Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Prayas, Sabka Vishwas. The problem was reform was carried out in some communities and other communities, they were not, the reform was not encouraged. It's almost as though there was an effort to make sure that there was no reform, to make sure there was no spread of education. And today you are seeing the spread of education. And you are going to see that even more. I think that is the right line to follow. And secondly, the point is when we are talking about the Article 370, it's based on two-nation theory. It should never have been accepted by Congress Party in 47. It was wrong, and I'm glad it has been removed. Everybody who's a genuinely secular person will be happy about that. So, one can talk about so many issues and put them in a religious context when they're not really in a religious context.
Can I come in?
Yes, Sumit.
You see, Meghaji, it's not about that when you do something for the Hindus, you have to do it against the Muslims. Look, if you free temples, it's not against Muslims, right? Muslims are not hurt. If there's a uniform civil code, Muslims are not hurt because it happens in every country of the world. And if this Waqf Act, Places of Worships Act, if this is repealed, you say Waqf Act and Place of Worship Act is a con. How can Waqf own more lands than the government of India? How can Mukesh Ambani's property be called as a Waqf property? So these are the things which expected to go, which were historical wrongs. There were a lot of wrongs which were corrected, I'm not denying. But if these 2-3 things would have done, and one of these would have been done, at least this is the sentiment of the people. It's not what I think. I might be a logical thinking person. I agree to what Prime Minister Modi did 101%. But imagine a person living in a UP का गांव बोले भैया मंदिर काहे कहीं फ्री करे ये वक्फ बोर्ड को काहे नहीं डिसॉल्व किया. Even that is the sentiment which goes on a kasbah and town, and these are the people who will vote.
Okay, you are at this point in time assuming that if all these reforms were also made and the policies were brought out, more Hindus would have come out and voted. But this is a hypothesis. Now, this is what your opinion is.
It's not a hypothesis.
I'm again saying, Ram Mandir. Every single campaign of every BJP leader across the country, barring perhaps southern India, has been on the plank that Ram Mandir has been built. In fact, there have been these songs and hymns that have been written to vote for BJP, vote for Narendra Modi, because he has brought the Ram Mandir. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, to Amit Shah, to JP Nadda, to all these leaders have come out and said that if Congress comes to power, there are going to be the Babri Masjid lock that is going to be placed on Ram Mandir. Yes, if there is development that has happened for the welfare of Hindus in the last 10 years and especially in the last 5 years, shouldn't there already be hope amongst Hindus in the country that the Uniform Civil Code, the Waqf Board and the temples and all these things are going to be then tackled well by the government?
You see, Meghaji, there's one point of a bone of contention here. Yes, I agree. I'm 100% with you. But look at Faizabad. Who is leading in Faizabad? Samajwadi Party guy. Is the Samajwadi Party are the same people who fired at car sevaks and put them in the Saryo Nadi? Right? But today, the irony is that Samajwadi Party guy is able to win it because Modi ji is a gentleman, he may not do it. But how do you stop Akhilesh Yadav from playing the caste politics? He did what he had to do. In order to stop that, you have to, it's not only about doing what you are right, but at that times you have to also defend and attack. If your defense is weak, your attack might be very good, but you will not survive the war. Is what has happened here. Akhilesh played the card.
How do you view this situation? Again, the question, at this point of time, do you have to play the religious polarization card to win the elections in the country?
No, I'm not saying that. What I said was statistically, if you look at the data on both the sides, 18% goes up to 24-25%, and 37% just climbs to 38% by becoming pan-India. There has to be some reason. There has to be some vote lost. And what is that vote that is lost? BJP was all-time high last time with 37% vote with their core vote bank of 6% of Kattar Hindus.
We expected that to go to 42%.
That to go to 14%.
42
and
rather.
That was the calculation of their own leaders. That from 37%, if we increase this by 6%, we go to 43%. With that, we will be 330, 340 seats. That Correct. Is that leaders talking about it.
Okay.
In that sense, I was saying.
Professor Nalapat, obviously, the major chunk of seats that BJP has lost, which could have helped it cross the 272 mark, which is the halfway mark for winning the election with an absolute majority. Now, are these all Muslim Yadav combination that has worked in favor of Samajwadi Party and the Congress? If BJP would have done this, if it would have brought the Uniform Civil Code or the Waqf Board property is going to be brought back, given to the government or given to the people who actually hold the property and the temple freedom. These are hypothetical situations that are being created, but again, the point is that the BJP has lost these seats and it has to do better.
Well, look, Megha, I'd like to say that one issue could possibly be that many of these decisions could have been left to a state level. For example, the farm bills, they were super bills. They were brought to the central level. One state, Punjab, a small group in one state opposed it, and a small group in two other states, they also opposed it. Rest of the country was perfectly okay with the farm bill. Now, supposing you say that let the state government decide. If, for example, you want temples freed from state control, let the state government decide which state governments want that. And I can tell you many state governments, when they find the good reaction to freeing of temples, others will follow. Farm bill, which state governments, when some state government decide to go ahead with the farm bill, other state governments will follow. So let there be a competition for doing these things. Everything need not be centralized at the central level, and then everybody else implement it. Anyway, that's not possible in a system like India, where you have federal system, where you have multiplicity of parties, and where you have multiplicity of opinions within every party. So I think one thing which I think the Prime Minister will be taking back from the last experience of the last 5 years would be the question of centralization. And I'm very certain that a lot of these measures will, for example, this question of a uniform civil code, it's there in every European country. It's there in North America. It's there in so many Muslim countries. There's nothing anti-secular about
Correct.
it. So I would suggest that the central government say, look, this is a good idea. We are in favor of it. But at the same time, if you as a state want to do it, go ahead and do it. Maybe some of that uniform civil code, in my view, should be done centrally. Freeing of temples can be also, the center can give a clear recommendation to that effect, the recommendation about the farm bills, and get it done. So then let the states compete. And those states that are holding on to regressive platforms, those states that are holding on to regressive, restrictive practices that mainly target the Hindu community, they're going to be exposed.
Correct.
I mean, I want to end by saying that it was the good fortune of the BJP that they lost the assembly election in Karnataka, because the Karnataka government was functioning very, very badly, I'm sorry to say. And as a consequence, BJP as the opposition party has got many more Lok Sabha seats than would have got had it been in the government. So the fact of the matter is, please,
There's one small point.
I think there needs to be more decentralization, and above all, there needs to be the Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Prayas, Sabka Vishwas is absolutely the right thing to follow for a country like India.
Okay, Savio, now the performance which was not up to the mark for the BJP with the standards that it had set after the win of the last 10 years in 2014 and 2019, there you see in Haryana, it has been not the optimum result that BJP would have wanted. When you take a look at Maharashtra, something similar that is coming out as a result. Rajasthan, in fact, was a state that BJP was expecting to win almost all the seats. Are these then, in Punjab as well, BJP has not performed at all. Are then the results in 2019 elections, are they going to be reflective of the assembly polls that take place in all these states successively?
Well, I think that's too early to actually discuss at this point of time, because I think what happens at the state level and what happens at center are completely different form of politics. Of course, there's going to be a lot of churning going on after the results that have happened. There's going to be a lot of confidence in the India Alliance partners and their level of politics. And there's going to be an equal amount of confidence in the BJP and the NDA. What is important in this entire thing, Megha, is that we are a democracy, and we are people who believe that the power does not lie in a political party or a political leader. It lies with the people. The people have decided on a mandate. The people have declared on that mandate. that mandate is how it's going to perform. And that's how it's going to be for a long time. And I believe, like I'm saying it again, this is going to be the BJP NDA government, and Prime Minister Modi is going to come back for the third time. Whatever introspection that needs to be done will be done by the party, because where we have performed not as desirable as we wanted, there are other areas where we have performed much, much better than what was expected. So the point is introspection necessary? Yes. Could victory have been better? Yes. But the fact of the matter is, victory is still a victory, Megha.
Yeah,
and that is what matters.
And nobody's taking it away from you.
Correct.
The point is that the standards were set so high after your 2019 win, and of course the sloganeering of 400 par and 370 for the BJP, the country expected so much. In fact, the exit polls all came out in favor of the BJP with an absolute majority.
What is important, Megha, is that the initiatives of the Prime Minister Modi's government, which is something we've been speaking so much about, that continues, because you see, Modi never worked on basis of religion or caste. He looked at you as a citizen, and by virtue of that, you got the benefits. Now, some people have decided to allow themselves to be polarized. I respect that. I think at the end of the day, when you come into a prime minister's position, you cannot look at it based on caste or creed. You have to look at them, and that's how policies are made. Politically, you might say whatever you want to in your political party, but when you're on that chair and you represent the people, you're not representing a community. You're representing the entire.
Okay, all right. All right. Now I'm just going to give you an update. Bansuri Swaraj of the BJP, she fought for the first time on the New Delhi ticket from the BJP side. She has won against Somnath Bharti. All right, so on that update, Rahul Ishwar, now, maybe just about 30 to 40 seats left, which is a close contest with candidates winning or losing by under 5 to 6,000 seats. And BJP at this point of time at a very crucial position of 245 seats. It will require another 30 to cross the 270 mark. What are the chances this happens?
I don't think BJP, even the party workers will say that BJP alone will be crossing, but NDA will be at a position of crossing. And just one quick rejoinder to Madhav sir and the earlier things. I totally agree and concur and applaud the Free Temple movement, which is a believer's demand for a long time. But I would like to submit one thing. Regarding Uniform Civil Code, Ambedkar ji was for Uniform Civil Code, Nehru ji was for Uniform Civil Code, all the Supreme Court judges are for Uniform Civil Code. But one great man in India's history who was against Uniform Civil Code, who I consider my guru, was Guruji Goldwalkar. The RSS Supremo for 33 years said we don't need a uniform civil code. Not only that, we don't need a uniform civil code, we need unity and not uniformity. So there has been such opinions. And Guruji Goldwalkar went on to say that rather than focusing on Muslim fertility, we need to have unity and we need to focus on our own family issues. This was no one less than Guruji Goldwalkar who led the RSS for the most number of time. So let there be a space for debating such issues. And I have always gone to Muslim stages saying, let us debate and discuss about such things. There is nothing wrong in discussing such things, because even Ambedkar ji approved of it, or Nehru ji approved of it, or even in modern times, the global citizen from Congress, Sri Shashi Tharoor, approves of Uniform Civil Code. So let there be informed debate regarding all these things. But that's a different thing. But right now here, NDA is in a pole position, and we should not take the credit away for winning. It's a time to appreciate and applaud.
Absolutely not. Third consecutive time, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to be leading the country. That's a massive achievement, and of course the next 5 years are going to be the programs, the schemes, the projects and the policies that the Prime Minister has already rolled out, and the time for implementation and execution, and of course the Vision 2047 that the Prime Minister continues to speak about and is looking forward to, not just in terms of policy making, not just talking about it on the drawing board, but also implementing it.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.